Markets are giving traders a lot to think about right now. A potential SpaceX IPO, another eye-popping AI valuation with Anthropic, gold coming off a historic run, inflation still at the center of every serious macro discussion. The common thread right now is capital allocation. Where does the money go when private market valuations look extreme, public market AI winners look crowded, gold looks extended, and inflation refuses to disappear? That's the question we're asking today to Clem Chambers, founder of anewfm.com. Clem, let's just start where we were talking in the green room here. AI in public markets right now, there's been obvious winners in chips, the hyperscalers, the cooling centers, blah, blah, blah. Are we still early in this stage, or is it too late for folks to jump into the trend?
Okay, whenever I do my research, Micron jumps up and then I go, well, it's up 500 times. So that's too late for that one. So the obvious stuff, you're too late for. But or not, as the case may be. I mean, I like to buy at the bottom and sell at the top. And selling at a top, buying at a top and hoping it'll go higher, that's not my game. And a lot of people make a lot of money doing that. So good luck with that. But what I'm doing is I'm going, well, actually, where are things that people are missing? And a couple of weeks ago, I went, hold on a minute, hold on. All these hyperscalers, megascalers, gigascalers, whatever they want to call themselves, they've got to have networking. And they've got to go to somebody who can go, you want one of them? Oh, okay, we can probably do that. And that's an old, boring, dull, who cares, Cisco, right? So I told my people on Substack and on YouTube, yeah, in fact, I got a thumbnail of me in a straitjacket. Yeah, because it's mad. I said, Cisco, blew me thing and went up 30% the next day. And the reason I had the thought was one of my lovely users commented that I should look at Nokia, and everybody laughed. They all laughed when Christopher Columbus, etc. And then I thought, hold on a minute, I can smell money here. It worked in my head because I'm a contrarian. So I go look at it and I go, AI in networking, mobile networking, 6G, AI, NVIDIA's put $1 billion in, and how can you miss that one? Boom, it's up 50% since then. And then I thought, hold on a minute, you've got, dead duck Nokia, not dead duck, actually pretty great. You got Cisco, massive company. .com dead duck. No, big company. Well, what about Hewlett Packard? Well, blooming things up 20% today. But fortunately, I got it. But it's like, oh, hold on, what's going on here? What is going on? Well, what is going on? The hyperscalers are going to take all the money in the world and spend it on hardware. Yeah, well, big companies that do hardware, they're going to go nuts, aren't they? Because they do the hardware for all this stuff. All right, it might not be NVIDIA chips, but maybe they've got to deal with NVIDIA to do stuff with their chips.
Sure.
So then you go, and so I was like last night, I've really got to look at Dell. So I wake up in the morning, look at it, blew me things up 30%. But of course, HP, the read-through on that, up it went. Yeah, so, and there's another one like that out there, and I'm going to do a video on it, but I might give you a link. When's this video coming out?
We'll probably get it out Friday afternoon for a weekend enjoyment.
Okay, well, you're going to get it first. We're going to get it before my punters, probably, or maybe not. Maybe I'll rush it out. Okay, so AI, got to go everywhere. Everyone's got to have it. We all know that. We're all going to get fired, blah, blah, blah. Well, who is going to be trusted to put that into big company? Who's going to be trusted to put that into Exxon or Walmart or the American government? Who's going to be trusted? Who's got that relationship? What dead duck can you pull out of your hat that's going to do that? Massive, trusted hardware, software company that deals with government and big corporations who've got the money. Oh boy, they got the money. Well, it's IBM, of course, isn't it?
Say they might be in my neck of the woods, which is IBM.
IBM. I bought a load of them yesterday because it's like, because I thought IBM's a dead duck, but that's an old tech company dead duck. Why is it out of the picture? It's only 1.5 times sales or something, minor like that, not 20 or 60. Why isn't that an AI company? And I'm looking at it, and it is. Because the government, they're not going to ring up Sam Altman and say, come and muck with us. And when you look at Anthropic and when you look at OpenAI and all these guys, they've they feel very, very, very like a B2C company. Yeah. They're not talking about danger and risk and locking stuff down and putting in policies. And I mean, they're trying to, but they're just not, are they? They're rolling this stuff out 10 a penny. Oh, we blew it up. Oh, we changed it. Oh, we broke the rules. We bent the rules. Blah, blah, blah. That's not the sort of company you're going to let into Exxon or Walmart or any of those guys. Yeah, you're going to let IBM. You're going to bring up IBM. Yeah, AI. We're really frightened, but we think we need it, and we know we've told we need it. We've got to have it, and we trust you because we've been dealing with you for 700 years, and you're a consultancy that puts this sort of stuff in, and you've got the hardware too, right? And we can trust you not to blow us up. Now, when we got fired, hiring IBM, and we need AI, and you're close enough. Come on, in you go.
So this entire conversation has really alluded to the bottleneck in AI, and you've seen the bottleneck shift over time from GPU to memory. What's the next bottleneck where traders?
Well, it's one massive bottleneck, isn't it? It's one massive bottleneck. They've unleashed the Kraken, and it's all up in the air now. I mean, if you think about the programmer that's now been given the right to do the work of 20 programmers. Now, obviously, 19 programmers think they're going to get fired, but they're not. They're going to get told to either get on the program or get out. And when they're on the program, they're going to be doing the work of 20. Well, what's that going to do to productivity? What's that going to do to the economy? Well, what does that? It enables, obviously, people to go around and go, yeah, well, we've been looking at all our infrastructure. We've noticed that you don't do any work. Goodbye. Oh, by the way, you do work. Hey, have some AI with that. Go on, get on with it. Yeah, there's that bifurcation coming in process, right? But actually, the bottom line is it's a massive, massive engine for growth. And that's the bottlenecks are all the way down the line, all the way back to Corning making glass fibers. Yeah, all the way down to copper. I mean, Jensen, I can't remember his surname now, but, you know, Mr. NVIDIA, I mean, I better double check this. I better double check it actually said that you're going to need 100 times more electricity. 100 times? I can't even do 2.
So power, base load, transmission, the grid, effectively. Utilities become an interesting aspect of this conversation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Nuclear power, uranium, glass fibers. It's internet networking. It's just everything, right? And then, so what I've been doing is looking down to find the stuff that people have missed because they go, IBM dead duck. Oh, it's a consultancy. Who needs consultants when the government needs to do AI? Oh, maybe quite a few. Yeah. So it's that breaking it all out and understanding the value chain. There's huge money in that. And you know, I keep picking them out and they keep exploding 3 days later as if someone was bugging my computer. And it's scary, really. I don't like making such money that fast. I prefer to make it over a year, not over a week.
No, I have that same inclination. Well, when I put out a trade and it gets filled and it goes up right away, it's wait a second. That's not how it should work out. Right? What's going on here? So how do you separate this? You clearly seem to think that AI is a powerful secular theme, but when do we go into the realm of speculative froth and excess? Are we getting close to it?
We're in it. We're in a bubble, and it's an 18-month one. That's bubbles. If you, what year are we in? Are we in 95 with Netscape? Are we in 98? Are we in 99? Remember, it went into 2002. Yeah, where is it? You see, I was writing in Forbes a couple of years ago saying Nasdaq's a boom and we're going to go in a bubble. And when it bubbles, don't worry too much. Just go get on with it. Remember to leave. Remember not to confuse your brains with a bull market, and that will come, right? But we're in it. I mean, it's hard to judge. I would say we're at the beginning of it, but it could be halfway up. I mean, when you buy stocks and you make 30% the next day, that's pretty scary. I remember that. And I don't like that at all. As I said, I used to be a trader. I used to, I maybe never enjoyed it. I was good at it. I made a lot of money. And then I didn't have a digestive tract. So I decided that, you know, investing was better than trading because, you know, investors fly in private jets and traders go to jail. So, you know, and I don't like eating Tums by the bucket. So anyway, I became an investor, and I like that. It's happy. I don't have to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning to see what Tokyo's doing. It's great. And then that's gone away now. We're in trading land. It's all a trade now because it's a bubble, or at the end of a boom, or halfway through a bubble, or somewhere like that. That's your game. You know what it's like trading. You never really know. You're just kind of riding the ball, right?
So last question here. If there's anything to derail this rally, I know that you've been on inflation as well. Is it going to be
Well,
inflation as the Fed?
inflation doesn't derail it. We're going to get it. And, yes, they say that markets don't like inflation, but they do when you see, I'm going to fork on this. What is going to happen is this: interest rates are going up, right? And why are they going up? Because the hyperscalers are sucking all the credit out of the market to build out this stuff. Okay. And if they keep doing that, there won't be enough money to go around in the other places and there'll be a crash. But the Fed knows that. The government knows that. They're just pulling the print button every now and again. Oh, interest rates too high. Let's print some more money. Down they come. Let's QE. They are QEing right now. And I haven't looked at the balance sheet, but the last time I did, it was going that way. Right. So they will just QE it, and they will just put up with 5, 6, 7% inflation for the next 5 years. Right. If America's going to catch up with China, which is actually where they're at, they can't do that in a zero inflation world. And they can't do it if they lose the AI race. I mean, they've got to print. They've got to go hell for leather for AI. There ain't no second place in AI. That's why it's so devastatingly powerful. You come second, you're nowhere. You're dead, right? You've got to at least be at parity in intelligence with your adversary, which is the new word for enemy, right? So they've got, and I tell you, China's winning. I can get cheaper AI from China and do DeepSeek. It's half the price of American AI. Of course it is, because they've got energy over there. They haven't got it in America anymore. They haven't got 75 nuclear power stations under construction. So there's a race that's going to be run, and it's an inflationary race, and it's a growth race, and it's all going to be driven by this massive economic firestorm of AI. And so, all bets are off. It's like, whoa. You've got to come up with crazy ideas like buying IBM and waking up the next day and find out you just made 7%. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. A lot of money to be made if you can wrap your head around it. And, my head's half wrapped around it, but it's half wrapped around a lamppost as well. So it's exciting times. I mean, in your game, options, of course, that's the place where you can make a fortune and have your face ripped off, mainly have your face ripped off. I want to be long term. I want normality, please. I can do 25 to 30% in normality. I don't, this 50 to 70% a year, that's surfing the event horizon. I don't like that at all, but there we are. There's no other choice. There is no sensible, boring option. IBM is a sensible, boring option. And look what it just did. I was talking about Intel only a few weeks ago. It might as well be a few weeks ago. I was saying it's great. It's $20. It's great. Why wouldn't you buy that? It's $120 now. And by the way, you can read that in Forbes. You can read that on Seeking Alpha last year about November. Yeah. And gold, I mean, it's all accentuated volatility. I don't know. I keep clear of options because I'm old and grey and weak. But I mean, what's the IV out there like? It must be a massive.
Old volatility, that's actually fallen off a cliff here, relatively speaking. It's only in the 32nd percentile right now over the past year. It's down a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting market though. And Clem, we have to wrap up here. You and I should continue this conversation elsewhere. This has been fascinating, fantastic. He's been Clem Chambers, founder of anewfn.com. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but if you want more great interviews like this, follow, like, and subscribe to our page. You've been watching Tasty Live.